Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Kaii to Otome, Mysterious Disappearances episode 10, in which we will probably discover what exactly happened to that VTuber character and what happened to Nodoka. Whether we will manage to help her in the same episode or not, well, that remains to be seen. What is clearly seen, though, is that... no, that's too much contrast. Is that I'm having trouble lighting the scene. It's, again, early in the morning, and I can't get the temperature any lower than it is. I can get it higher, but not any lower. So it's gonna have to be what it is. Regardless, what happened in the previous episode, exactly? Well, the previous episode was mostly focused on Nodoka. We learned about her, and that's basically it, right? That was basically the focus of the entire episode. We learned about her home life, how her father is never home, how her mother is also out of the picture. We don't know whether she's dead or also always busy. There are like certain parallels to Shizuku's life a little bit, right? Or rather, Shizuku's friend's life, right? She was also just left to her own devices because there was nobody ever at home. Nodoka at the same time wants to impress her father-in-law. That's why she's doing very well in academia. She's getting great grades, but none of that ever helps her even meet with her father. He's always busy at the hospital. He's always busy having meetings, maybe operating, stuff like that. Never has any time for her. Even at home, she doesn't have any time for herself. She has a tutor that comes in and teaches her about some extracurricular material that she doesn't even necessarily need to know at this stage, but it's kind of expected of her if she wants to take over the hospital one day. Does she want that, though? That's a big question here. And her only escape after the school is done, after she already after she's met her friends and now they separated and now she's at home, and her only respite is VTubers, right? She got into a little bit of a parasocial relationship with one Yorumun Himeo, who is a VTuber, and she talks a little bit, and Nodoka treats it as if she's talking to her. Nodoka asks some questions about her future, right? She's uncertain about what she wants to do. Maybe I want to be an idol, maybe I also want to be a VTuber, and gets some much needed words of encouragement. The one and only person that gives her words of encouragement. Besides her friends, although she's not quite that open with her friends in the first place, so I'm not sure if they even know of Nodoka's situation, of Nodoka's dreams, stuff like that. So there is only Yorumun. And later we get the news that Yorumun is graduating. We don't know the reason, but it's happening. It has a very big effect on Nodoka, while all the time she was very cheerful, especially after staying up late watching Yorumun's stream, which the sensei, Manami-sensei, Unnamed-sensei, noticed and put our attention to. After the news of Yorumun graduating, she's a shadow of her former self. She doesn't do well at school, she doesn't do well during the extracurricular tutoring. But then, just as if by magic, her tablet turns on itself, and lo and behold appears Yorumun. Glitchy a little bit, but still, it's her. At least the people who view that are supposed to believe that it is her. And she has words of encouragement for Nodoka specifically. She even goes as far as to get out of the screen and speak to Nodoka directly, right? You can do it. I believe in you. You can do your school during the day and you can do your idol dream during the night. Sleep? Who needs sleep? Sleep is for the weak, Nodoka dear, not for the dreamers. And that dream leads Nodoka to eventually collapse. Thankfully, with Otto, she invited her over to do some studying, so Otto was there. She was able to, notice that in time and call 911 or whatever is the emergency number in Japan. I think it's like 119 or 3 ones, something like that. And it seems to be a bit of an epidemic of people just falling to the ground, exhausted, and the thing that connects them is their love for Yorumon. Well, apparently Yorumon has become a Tsukumogami, right? I think I remembered it correctly. Tsukumogami. Yorumon, or rather her avatar, her, the digital puppet that shows on the screen. Tsukumogami are items that people get heavily attached to and pour their emotions into, basically, to the point where that item just gains sentience one day. And in the age of single-use things, fast fashion, and planned obsolescence, there are not many physical items that could become a Tsukumogami, but what about digital, right? People get attached to VTubers. I would know. Coco was my Oshi. I would know that. And that created a Tsukumogami. We don't know what happened to the talent behind her, to her roommate, but maybe something bad, maybe not. I don't know. Who's to say? We just know that the Tsukumogami, the Yorumon Tsukumogami, is malicious in nature. Yeah, it's an evil Tsukumogami, basically. And we're gonna have to deal with that now. Thankfully now, Sumireko Ren, everybody knows what's going on. They even got their, weird headquarters on the roof of the maid cafe for some reason, instead of meeting at the train station. I guess maybe Sumireko is a little apprehensive going there from the time that she last met the news, right? She reacted very strongly to that news, so maybe they'd rather meet somewhere more neutral. So the rest of the season, I assume, will be about Nodoka and Yorumon. In today's episode, I can see them trying to maybe find out what's going on with Yorumon. I don't know how you can even exercise a virtual digital item, right? It's not a pen that you can break. It's not a sword that you can smelt, right? It's something digital. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Oh, and the most important thing, probably, at the end, we get a little cat party. Cats dancing to some music, and the cat girl in a red tracksuit that we've seen in the opening all this time also appears there, and she's also having party, and she's dancing a rotoscope dance, and what the fuck is going on? I don't know, but I had fun, and I'm assuming either the cat girl has something to do with this Tsukumogami, or she just appears to, I know, to annoy Ren and Sumireko. I have no idea. Also, I forgot to get myself an tea, so I'm gonna be sipping on this jug of water. This was a good purchase. It lasts me an entire day. Alright. So, I guess with all of that, we can start watching today's episode, right? I'm assuming we're gonna see them trying to start their investigation into Yorumon. Episode 11 will be the conclusion of that. Although now with the cat girl also in the picture, it could actually take us more episodes than that, and it will actually last us until the very end of the season. We'll see. Right? And to do that, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. On Patreon, you get early access to some videos. And with that, we can start watching episode 10 of Kaii to Otome in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, so she's taking over all the devices? Okay. Okay, she just appears indiscriminately in people's devices. Not necessarily her fans, not necessarily people who are watching her streams. No, you might be just, I know, browsing your email, checking your email, and boom, she appears like fucking Clippy. Right? Huh. Interesting. I felt that Tsukumogami is mostly like turning against their former owners rather than attacking humans indiscriminately. But legends evolve, as we've learned already, so it could very well be that Yorumun Tsukumogami is actually attacking everybody indiscriminately. Really makes me wonder how are they going to get rid of her. Like, if someone has a video saved with Yorumun, does it still count as Yorumun existing? Do you have to, like, delete every single bit of data about her to get rid of her? Or, right, what's the process here? Or do you go to the source? Do you go for her, like, talent and, I don't know, exercise her? Doesn't it add up? Oh. Okay, so he's talking about the exact thing that I was talking about. Father dearest? Probably father dearest. What's that costume, Otto? What are you wearing, Otto? Aged up a little. That's the smell of a whatchamacallit, of a curiosity. Ah? What was he trying to do? With that marker? Also, I love that she's still holding him. Hmm. Oh, he was trying to draw something on the screen. Yep. Probably. Mm-hmm. Okay, some like magical, yeah, something like that. Like Sator arepo tenet opera rotas, right? This sort of deal? This sort of deal, probably. I mean, hey, worth a shot. Yeah. But she's also the reason that she got the courage to try, following her dreams. Oh? Who? Oh, is she yeah! Yeah, she's the roommate. How do you know them? I guess Manami? Yeah, I guess she told her. Hmm. Oh, she was the wheelchair girl that arrived at Uname's room. Okay, I thought it's gonna be something much more sinister, but apparently not. I mean, the breast person, yes, I mean, undoubtedly, she certainly is a breast person. Okay, Sumireko, age down, please. Yeah, the layer of screen gives her confidence that she lacks in real life. That is often the case. Yeah. But then you had an accident, you lost your legs. Or some sort of a different. Okay, progressive disease. Gotcha. That sucks. Right. Right, and she wanted to do something that she can do, like, herself, on her own, without needing anybody's help. And something that she would also be able to, make into something that, she can support herself, even, potentially. Okay, so she's a corporate? She tried to be a corporate, but it didn't work. No, it did. Okay. Sure, I thought she's gonna be like rejected by the corporate and she's going to go indie, but no. Okay. Mm-hmm. But now she was able to provide it instead. And that's why she had to graduate. Yep. I mean, going back to streaming briefly and retaking control over the avatar might be the way to handle that. Maybe. Hmm. She's afraid of you taking control. That would be my bet. I mean, he likes older women. What can he say? Mm-hmm. Right, but she wasn't discarded. Continues the work of her creator, essentially. Garei. Okay. So, like, a sword put down on the shelf does the killing on its own because it misses that? Something along those lines? Mm-hmm. That's an ugly fish. Yeah, cheering people on. Exactly. She's continuing without her creator. Yeah, almost too many. Actually, no, almost to it. Like, legit too many. Too much encouragement. And what does it entail? Mm-hmm. I mean, she's standing right in front of you. The, like, person responsible for her, at least. I mean, I can see where she's coming from. Oh, that bad, huh? Yeah, that's good sentiment. Yorumun was supposed to be a symbol of happiness and encouragement, right? And now she became something that people are scared of. We can't leave that be. Okay, like one last proper send off is what they're is what they're trying to do here. I guess it makes sense, right? Her mission got basically cut so suddenly that there was no closure to that nothing, right? There wasn't a graduation stream, for example. No send of sudden death. There's actually plenty of legends about just sudden, unexpected death creating some sort of a monster, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Huh. That's actually a lot of similarities. Mm-hmm. Also, I immediately see a parallel to Polish Dziady, which you might know from The Witcher 3 as Forefathers Eve. That's also a ritual where you like summon spirits of the dead and you send them off. Hey, words of encouragement! Okay, so it basically created a bunch of water? Oh, shit! Ah! Curiosity versus curiosity. It's good! Okay, that's cool. Kill everybody present, but you know, we can set that aside and do something else. Yes! I was correct. She was missing that graduation concert, that closure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, make her realize. Cat GPT. She's getting mixed messages. Or rather, the positive messages are outweighing everything else. Or is it actually a send off? Hmm? Hey! We have some. Do I even call it self-cessed? See, that's why graduation streams are important. Is she going to magically get better now? Was she just standing up on her own? Yep. She's standing. Yormun healed her somehow? like gave her the last bits of her artificial life or something along those lines. Hmm. Okay. So she has healing powers, basically. Sure, okay. Cool. And there was a lot of images of her, indeed. Was to heal her person behind. Cool. I love me a good ending. Or, I guess, bittersweet, kinda, but ultimately more sweet than bitter. And that's the episode. Okay. All right. Very, very quick. Maybe not very, but somewhat quick closure, I guess you could say. Yeah, now I can crank up the temperature a little bit. What does Otto want to do? Oh, Otto wants this temperature, sure. Yeah, great fucking choice, Elgato. uh, wait, do we have... I think we do have some time for an after credit scene. Hmm. So I guess the last two episodes will be about the cat girl. I fully expected her to be somehow involved in this arc, right, and create some, some issues, so that it's not going to be as easy to dispel Yorumon, right? Maybe they are on the verge of dispelling her, but then the cat girl appears and uses their lost focus to, I don't know, right? Something like that. Apparently not, though. Apparently we are leaving those two to be like separate arcs, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. Cats, swimsuits, and a black aeonium. Okay, cats make sense. Swimsuits because apparently pool episode. But what the fuck is an aeonium? Sounds like a flower. Sounds like a flower, I think. Let's watch this episode again, though, shall we? And I'm gonna quickly Google up aeonium. Yep, it is indeed a. Oh, it's this! It's this pretty flower. Oh, I like it. I like this flower. I like this flower very much. What's that pop-up thing? Oh, there we go. Can I show it to you? I think I can. Window capture, but this one. There we go. This is aeonium. There we go. I really, really like aeonium. Apparently, I didn't know, but now I do. Now I know that this is aeonium that I like. Okay, cool. I've no idea what significance aeonium has in like Japanese flower language or whatever, but I guess we will learn about that. Right now, again, let's go through this episode. We'll be looking at an anime from 40 years ago, and yeah, she jumps in. Someone's making a video about an obscure anime, Yorumon shows up. Someone browses news about her, she shows up. Someone's watching drama tubers, she shows up. Which I guess is ultimately beneficial. Yeah, she's going to be the last 2 episodes, apparently. Are these crimes being committed by a hacker who page-jacked popular VTuber Himeo Yorumun's official site? I don't know. You tell me. The uproar is escalating rapidly. What is Otto wearing? What the hell is Otto wearing? Right? I got so used to her wearing her school uniform that I guess her dressed very casually is just weird. Doesn't make sense for the damage to start spreading indiscriminately. Exactly. Tsukumogami are only attacking their owners. Let me do what I like to just a little. See, this is the whole situation with Yorumun has like good sides and bad sides to it. Bad side, I mean, obviously it's a curse, it leads people to exhaustion, etc., etc. But on the other hand, it does make people follow their dreams. Right? Just like Nodoka, it gave her the encouragement to stand up against her father. No, Dad, I don't want to spend 24/7 learning for a med school. I want to be an idol. Fuck you. Fuck your hospital. I want to be an idol. Right? It gave her the power, the strength, the encouragement to do that. At the cost of physical and mental exhaustion, yes, but still. Also, I love how we don't even see his full face. He's such a non-character. He doesn't show up in Nodoka's life, and he doesn't show in episodes concerning Nodoka either. I wonder if it's like just, we don't have his canon look, so they don't show him, or is it maybe taking the manga like one-to-one, translating it onto the screen, or is it like supposed to be actually significant in this like symbolic way of, he doesn't exist in Nodoka's life. He doesn't even exist in her episodes, right? He's so non-existent in her life. He doesn't exist in her life at so many different levels. Maybe it's symbolic. Again, what the fuck is this costume, Otto? Like high cut, weird thong, and a tracksuit with like crop top. What? What is this? What is this, Otto? Apartment wife. Yeah, she probably should have come here aged down. I have to make up for lost time. Yep. What do you think you're doing to her little sister's friend? He was not doing anything to her. I don't fully get this this scene here. He sniffed out that, yeah, this is the curiosity. I have a way to, alleviate it quickly. Let me scribble some, tic-tac-toe real quick, and it's going to help. And he gets stopped by that, by Sumireko. Why? I know. Yorumun is a curiosity that has broken form of digital image, indeed. And similar stories, yep. A painting that came to life on its own. A person in a painting, maybe. So many different variations of stories about, like, a magic pencil, right? Whatever you draw with it, it comes to life. It's very, very pervasive in people's, like, collective consciousness, I guess you could say. And a way to restrain it, well, draw something that would actually restrain it. That's also maybe not quite as common, but I've heard of at least a couple of different legends where that was the way to go, right? A statue that goes somewhere at night on its own. How do we fix it? Well, we sculpt out like shackles for its legs, and it can't go anywhere anymore, right? Stuff like that. Cool, I like it. The curiosity sees its actions immediately, draws something. And here we're not drawing something that would restrain Yorumun. I was thinking of, I know, Bolgag and Shibari, but probably not. Instead, Kuji Goshin Ho. 9-character self-defense. Method of self-defense said to have its origins in the classic Chinese text Baopuzi, practiced in Shugendo and Onmyodo. A grid of lines created by the 9 characters in the phrase is known as Kujimon. 9-character device. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is 5 by 4. I thought it's a symmetric grate, but no, it's asymmetric. Ama divers were the sigil when they dive toward of misfortune. Plenty of similar symbols that are supposed to ward off evil based on magical phrases that don't exactly have meaning. One of the most famous ones, again, as I mentioned, Sator Arepo Tenet Opera Rotas, which we don't know the actual proper meaning of it. It means absolutely nothing, I believe, in Latin, and we just know that it was used to ward off evil. Again, a square with those magical words inscribed into it. I really like seeing those parallels between different cultures, different religions, right? How the Romans and the Japanese, or the Chinese, because I think, Chinese text Baopuzi, even two completely different ends of the landmass, and they came up with basically the exact same thing. Maybe word traveled from one place to another, right? Maybe, but it's entirely possible that both of them just came up with the same thing to ward off evil. Yorumun only ever tries to encourage her fans. Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that. She encourages her fans to an unhealthy degree, but still. You cannot deny that she's giving everybody words of encouragement. Unnamed is here, and thankfully. And we meet Mikamo-chan, Yorumun's roommate. Please save Yorumun, right. Get to know her while I was hospitalized, as she'd been coming for regular checkups. Okay, so I guess they met in some sort of a room where they do the checkups, and it wasn't Mikamo who came to Unnamed. That's what it looked like, right? As if she was rolling on her wheelchair into Unnamed-sensei's room, but apparently not. Or maybe they already knew each other. That could also be it, and she just came in to visit. Cool. I was wondering where that plot of someone visiting Unnamed on a wheelchair is going to go, and here we have the payoff, right? Good. We got some foreshadowing, and we get payoff of it. That's cool. I didn't know what a VTuber was, yeah. And of course, her boobs are scary. The breast person indeed, they're just lumps of fat. The exact opposite of her cheerful, energetic persona. Yeah, I mean, many people have the exact same thing, right? They're a completely different person in front of a camera, and completely different person in person, right? I mean, I'm the same, believe it or not. I behave a little bit differently in my normal regular life. I behave a little differently with family. I behave a little differently with friends, right? Everybody does. Everybody's wearing masks. Different sorts. Some of them are thinner, some of them are thicker, but everybody does that, right? I think I'm normal, right? Everybody does that. I'm completely different from my streams. Yeah, many people are. Many people are. She was active, she had dreams, she had aspirations. I was about to say that it's kind of a parallel to Nodoka, but no, it's not a parallel to Nodoka. It's a parallel to... fuck, I forgot her name. Younger sister from Yuuki Yuuna, right? She also had the dreams of being a singer, of being an idol, right? And then something happened, right? Right. Yeah, very basically direct parallel here. In 5th and 6th grade, she started losing consciousness, endurance, and apparently incurable progressive disease. Progressive diseases are a bitch. And I have two fears. I genuinely have two fears as far as health is concerned. A brain illness and brain disease and progressive disease. Brain disease because you just stop being yourself and you don't even notice the changes. And you eventually become a, bumbling mess and you don't even have control of your own body and this shit's scary. And progressive diseases because you see yourself going worse, getting worse and worse and worse, and you can't do shit about it. And you know that, oh, yeah, it got this bad, I will probably be dead in X amount of time. Right? Shit's scary as well. I'd rather get off this world in an unexpected way, where my brain doesn't even have the time to process that something's going on. Because if I were to, I'd rather not talk about it. But yeah, I really don't envy her a progressive disease. Shit sucks, yo. Whenever I did anything, someone else had to take care of me. Yep, whatever it was. And it had a bad impact on your home life as well, of course. And maybe in part you blamed yourself as well. Like, you knew, intellectually, that you are not to blame here, but you couldn't help but blame yourself. It's because of me, it's because of my stay that my parents are arguing that there are issues at home. Right? It's because I can't go to school anymore that they have to take care of me, that mom had to give up her job. It's because of me that I will not be able to work and they will have to work for me all the time. And I will be a burden, right? Those sorts of thoughts, probably. And then she found something. She found a VTuber. Clever Corp. Okay, so she... I guess she auditioned for cover then. So she's a Hololive member. Cool. Cool. Amonzon, Face Note, Yattahu, YouTube. Long shot, but she did get in. Managers, modelers, and she got a nice model, right? She doesn't have any... she can't move her lower body, so she got a mermaid, so she doesn't need to, capture the lower body movements. Yeah. Cool. Came from other words for mermaids and legends of the sea. I wonder how much that contributed to Yorumon becoming a curiosity, right? Like, we know that in legends, words, names in particular, names carry power, a metric fuckton of power. If you name something after a deity, after a legend, chances are it's going to get the characteristics of that deity, of that legend. So I wonder how much that had to do with the whole situation. And it was something that she was able to do, right? Even from bed, even from chair, she was able to do something. She was able to encourage people, do something for others. All her life, she had things done for her by others, and now she was able to return the favor. And now she was able to be a little bit independent, do something without anybody else's help. Earn some money for herself as well, right? Lessen the burden put on her parents, stuff like that, right? But she got too much into it, and it led to her sharp decline, which caused a very abrupt graduation with no graduation stream. This is the big part here, the lack of a send-off. I can't remember like particular legends or the names of particular monsters related to it, but it's really common in legends, in stories as well, where a sudden death causes something, causes the person who died to become some sort of an undead, or spawns some sort of other mythical creature, or something else happened when the sudden, unexpected death happens. And this is basically it, right? Very sudden death to Yorumun, with no burial, no send of ritual, right? That's why it's also so important in pretty much every single culture around the world has some sort of a burial ceremony. It could be throwing the body into a pit where the flesh gets eaten by jackals, and then they pulverize the bones and spread them somewhere. It could be burial by hanging on a cliffside. It could be burial by burying. It could be burial by burning on a boat in the middle of a sea, right? But every single culture has burial customs. That's because the send-off is so incredibly important. That's because so many, that caused so many cultures to also create the legends and concepts of monsters who appear out of unburied bodies, right? If a person did not get a proper burial, they will raise up from the dead. They will exact revenge on the ones who did not give them the burial. So many legends like that. And graduation for a VTuber is basically that burial. It's a send-off ceremony. Actually, stuff like that also has also grown around items, right? How certain items have to be disposed of the proper way. Otherwise, something bad is going to happen. In Poland, at least, I don't know how it is in different countries around the world, but we have a custom where when during Easter you go get your like basket of foods that you're gonna be eating at the during Easter breakfast, you go to the church, you get it Christened or whatever you call it, where the priest takes the holy water and sprinkles it. When there is maybe some bread, stale bread left after the breakfast, or eggshells, right? You don't throw those eggshells away. You don't fucking do it. You bury them or you burn them. You don't throw them away. The same goes for bread. You don't throw bread into trash. You bury it, or you burn it. Two methods of disposal to everything that became holy through holy water or stuff like that, right? And I believe that there are also other items in like other cultures, even modern time. It's not, maybe religious or like magical in nature. But in the US, there is like special way of disposing of the US flag. There are flag disposal bins. You don't throw your flag into the trash. No, it has to be disposed the proper way, right? So again, if we treat the VTuber avatar as an item, it also has to be disposed of properly with a send-off ceremony, the graduation stream. They really picked an amazing theme for this arc. VTubers. So many parallels. So many parallels. I wanted to do something but didn't know what. Help me stop Yorumun. She hasn't seen any. This made me believe that the way to get rid of Yorumun might be for her to take control back, right? Like Yorumun currently does not have any reins, nobody's controlling her, she can do whatever. She doesn't want to appear in front of her, master, quote unquote, lest she be shackled again. So I thought maybe we're gonna be doing something in that regard, but no, apparently not. Is it even possible? Can we save Yorumun? Yeah, she's not a regular Tsukumogami, right? She's a Garei, something created from love poured into it. Not a spontaneous, random creation, but rather something that experienced so much, focus and love of someone that it gained its own life. Garei are born of images like paintings and carvings that people have poured their hearts into. Indeed. Not just the person behind, but also all the fans poured so much love, so much heart into Yorumun. And she's trying to continue the actions of her creator. Again, I can't recall like specific legends, but I've heard of at least a couple where an item, after it no longer is used for its purpose, starts working for that purpose on its own. Be it a plow that got discarded and now at night it's plowing the fields on its own, or a sword that no longer needs to do the killing because the war is over, so it flies around in the night and does the killing on its own, right? Stuff like that. And the same here. The purpose of Yorumun, how Yorumun was used, was to cheer everybody up. The person behind no longer uses Yorumun for that purpose, so Yorumun does it on her own. Continues what she's been imprinted with, basically. Desperate to fulfill her duty day and night, the curiosity whispers endless encouragements in people's ears. Yep, breaks them with the amount of encouragement, essentially. Artificial divine possession, Kamiyage. Forcing a curiosity that cheers people on to stop doing that would mean turning Yorumun back into no more than a simple image. Yeah. And very good point, actually. Right? Like, I created Yorumun to cheer people up. This was, I only had good intentions with it, and now Yorumun is a symbol of fear. Now people are afraid of Yorumun. I don't want that. Do you? You love Yorumun Nodoka, don't you? Would you rather that Yorumun, stays in people's minds as something that helped them? Something that encouraged them? Or would you rather she go down in history as this freak incident of Yorumun killing people? Which one would you rather, right? You'd rather Yorumun have a good ending, of course. And so we will give her a good ending. My only regret is that people are saying bad things about Yorumun. Yeah. Gather her fans, prepare a stage. I was not expecting this to conclude in this episode because I was expecting like a literal stage, right? Like a cinema screen or something, physical place with the voice behind going on stage with this like jingly stuff and doing Amu Kabita Butsu or whatever sort of a chant. But no. It's a digital Tsukumogami, a digital Garei rather, so we're doing digital send-off as well, digital ceremony. 20,000 people, that's enough, believers. Deities and spirits are firstly greeted, secondly made welcome, and thirdly seen off. Yeah, that's again common in, I'm assuming, more than just Polish traditions and Japanese traditions. I'm assuming other cultures have that as well. But yeah, this is Jade that I mentioned. It's a day during the year where you summon the spirits of the dead that have some lingering attachments, and you try to solve those attachments, if at all possible, and you send them off. In a book titled Jade, I believe one of these spirits at least arrives because they starved to death, and they are given some grain, and they take the grain and are sent off, and now they can go to the other world. They're no longer bound to Earth. So similar thing here, right? Greeted, made welcome, and seen off. And there is a formula for the greeting. You have to speak the proper words. For making welcome, for seeing off, everything is a part of the ritual. Unseen spirits are made to manifest through divine possession into a focus of some sort, through a priestess with the power of believers. And we have all of that. The focus is the avatar, the actor is the priestess, and the fans are the believers. Actually, a surprisingly good parallel to how VTubers work. Actually, like fucking 1-to-1. Honestly, I love it. That's why I love this arc so much. They didn't even need to like try and, figure out how to squeeze the concept of a Garei into a VTuber, or right? No, it's ready made. It's the exact same fucking thing, right? No need to modify anything whatsoever. It just works in its basic form. No need to modify the legends, no need to modify the rituals, no need to modify anything. Not just anyone's words will reach her, it has to be the voice of the priestess, yeah. And of course Yoromon will come. She always is there for her fans, of course. And then she tries drowning everybody. I love it. I love Unnamed Sensei using her powers to stop her. I fucking love it. Genuinely. In general, I really enjoy the thing. I don't want to call it a trope, but the thing where maybe the main characters get some evil artifact or whatever that they need to dispose of or whatever, but then it comes useful later on. Or they fight an antagonist, and then the antagonist appears later and helps them. Or, right? Stuff like that. Where the main characters, the main cast amasses different things and characters and items and stuff that later comes in useful. And it's really cool in case of Unnamed, because she's been hiding her nature all this time, and she's been returned to like being a normal woman, normal person, and then she uses her powers in like a good, positive way to help others. It's the evil spirit that got sealed away. But she's going to use the power of this evil spirit that inhabits her to save her friends. That's another trope that I really like. The reversal of nature, I guess you could say, or the usage of stuff against its nature. For example, main characters got an evil artifact and they need to destroy it, but they figure out how to use this evil artifact for good. Because maybe we can use this evil spear of evilness to pierce the evil book of evilness and destroy both at the same time. Or maybe the demonic left arm that managed to be sealed with a magic silicone band. We can unshackle the arm and defeat the boss. Or, right? Stuff like that. I'm always a huge fan of it. And I love what Manami did here. And of course, a little bit of fan service. Thank you. That's the Chinriki for you, indeed. It really seems like Yoromon has a bit of a split personality. I wonder how much of it is because the nature of her creation is at odds with the nature of who she is. Right? Like, she's a Tsukumogami. Tsukumogami are evil. Tsukumogami are supposed to hurt people. But she was created from the intention of helping people. So there's that conflict. right? And sometimes she slips into Tsukumogami, sometimes she slips into her nature. Maybe something like that. And yeah, we give her a proper send-off. She has a chance to speak to her creator, to the person behind. I've been working so hard, I'm cheering everyone on. I'm so happy I never imagined I'd get to talk to my person inside. Yeah, it's a bittersweet end. It's a bittersweet send-off. Right? She finally got her own life, her own existence, with only good intentions in mind, and yet we have to seize that existence. For a good reason, right? Like, make no mistake, for a good reason, but still. And she realizes that, oh shit, I've been causing problems for people, but I only had good intentions in mind. So what gives? I thought that this is going to basically undo everything they've done. Like, she saw the news about, oh, I'm hurting people, but then she gets words of encouragement. Yeah, no, you're not hurting people. It's thanks to you that I'm still alive and shit like that. And she will reject the notion that she might be hurting others. But no, she takes it as a proper send-off. We did our best. It's time to stop. I don't want to be hurting people. I want to be helping people, but I can't help it. So I'd rather just disappear. This is always a heartbreaking thing to me, right? Like, I want to live, I want to help people, but my very existence harms people. So to fulfill my goal of helping others, I'll commit sewer slide to not harm them. Right? This is always a very, very heartbreaking thing to me whenever it happens in media. Everyone will be alright now, and I'll be joining you soon. No, you won't, because I'm created as a mythological being with powers of healing, conveniently. Good ending. With a little bit of Yuricest? Do you call it Yuricest? Or do you treat them as two separate beings? I don't know. But yes, she goes away in one final song, showing to all of her fans and everybody around, singing words of encouragement. Smile and catch your dreams, appearing everywhere. Grab it and go beyond it. The best send-off she could have hoped for. Having saved her creator, the person behind. Jinja Hime. Mermaid curiosity who foretells epidemics and dispels disease. And so she dispelled the disease, warded it off with her power multiplied by the amount of screens she appeared on. I kind of feel it a little bit, I know, ham-fisted. That, oh, she gains more strength the more screens she appears on, so her goal was actually to heal her creator. That's why she was appearing on all those screens. Like, there was no even mention of she's trying to appear on as many screens as possible or anything like that, right? And I would have been fine with the send of just working the way it did. Just, she was healed through magic. That's it. I don't need more explanation. But instead we get this bit of she spread herself far and wide through her own efforts, all for the person she wanted to save. It wasn't hinted at that she was doing anything to save her creator specifically. So I find it kind of out of left field. Save your spirit. Indeed. Good ending. Good ending. And the next episode will be at the pool, and we're gonna have the cat, and we're gonna have the black aeonium. I don't know why, but we're gonna have a black aeonium. Somehow. There we go. There we go. Actually, let me Google one more thing. Black aeonium symbolism. If there is any, even. Black roses, they have a symbolism. Aeonian black rose. Care and propagation. Yeah, I don't see anything about the symbolism of Aeonian black rose. I don't know. We will probably learn the symbolism, if there is any, of course, in the next episode, right? But right now, that's it for this one, and it was cool. It was cool. It hit so many different strings for me. You know, the string of having to send someone off in a very, very burial death kind of way, but without them actually dying. That's so unique to VTuber graduations, isn't it? Right? Like you don't really have any other like moments, opportunities, quote unquote, where you are saying goodbyes to the person forever at the same time with the knowledge that the actual person is still alive and out there. It's super weird if you think about it, right? Like, I know that, Kaison is still streaming, but it was still heartbreaking being there during Coco's graduation. I'm full aware of it that Betani Chisato, the person behind, is still out there and doing her thing, but it was still heartbreaking being there during Bea's graduation, right? It's such a unique thing, such a unique feeling that you can't really replicate outside of the context of VTubers, can you? Right? Huh. Interesting. Cool. Another string that got tugged somewhere inside of me was the bit of, sacrificing herself to save people from herself. That's something I find really, emotional and appealing in that way in media. This episode really worked for me. Overall, in general. I'm not sure if it got cheapened by the fact that the person behind Yorumun got healed in the end or not. On one hand, I want to say that it got a little bit cheapened by that, because, miraculous recovery. But on the other, I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine with it because it gave us a good ending. And I love myself a good ending. I really like good endings. Who doesn't, right? I'm certainly not one for drama and tragedy. I'd rather have a good ending. They lived happily ever after. That's the perfect ending to everything. At the same time, I wanted to say that it kind of lasted a little bit short. Like, I expected this arc to be a little longer. But I don't see how they could have made it any longer without some bullshit. They got interrupted at the last possible moment, so now they have to restart kind of way. So it works. I guess I get the vibe of it being short because most other arcs had lasted for like 3 episodes at least, and this one was just 2. But I really can't hold it against it because it worked. The pacing was good, so I can't really find any, issues with it in the end. It's just my made-up virtual sort of an issue. Anything else about this episode in particular? I wonder what the person behind is going to do now. What's her name? What's her name? Come on. Where is it? Mikamo. Hanamura Mikamo. Yeah, I wonder what's going to be her story continued. So far, everybody that we saved, everybody that we met on the road, remained. in the story, in the world, right? We saved Uname Sensei and she's still around. She's hanging around with us. We saved Shizuku and she's still hanging around, right? All those people. I wonder if Mikamo will also be hanging around, and if so, what's going to be her story, right? Uname still remains a teacher, but changed her ways a little bit. Now she doesn't rely on her supernatural powers to stop bullying, but rather on her teacherly powers. Shizuku continues her work just as she did always, and nothing really changed in her life besides having closure. What's going to happen with Mikamo, I wonder? Is she going back to VTubing? That would kind of cheapen the whole sacrifice of Yorumun, right? It would really show that she's replaceable like that. And after being shown how powerful she was to the point of, healing Mikamo, I don't think getting another avatar would be good. I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe with her being healed, she could go back to her usual, or rather her old active life. She could maybe go back to school, right? Together with Nodoka and the rest of the gang and Otto. Maybe that's something that could happen. Maybe she could pursue her dreams of being an idol together with Nodoka. That would actually be nice. Having them be a duo of idols, maybe, right? That's an idea to have. I wonder where the story and time and life takes her further. I think that's it. I think that's all I had to say about this episode, but maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode. My reaction, my theories, stuff like that, say so in the comments down below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Kaii to Otome, but also Sentai Daishikaku, Kaiju number 8, Unnamed Memory, Yuuki, Yuuna, the second season are going to be starting soon. And click the bell to be notified when I go live and when new episodes release, of course. And support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki, Yuuna, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube, membership, super thanks, super chats. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zarena, Yukiala, Ishtamu, Dr. Takamasa, Marsh Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having your favorite VTuber graduating.